everybody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
not. Do
not.
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you.
Chairman, I
Order,
am
please.
reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child.
I am
not
reclaiming
a child.
my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not
Okay.
in order.
Order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Order.
I'm sorry. I enjoyed it. Look, I enjoyed it. Like I said, maybe they can hug it out or whatever. Joining me now, my friend Inez Stetman, Senior Policy Analyst for the Independent Women's Forum, and of course, Terry Schilling, President of American Principles Project. Okay, Terry, setting aside the hug it out part, it really doesn't bother me because I consider the House of Representatives to be an embarrassment. So when I look at another embarrassment that's on camera, it's just one more embarrassment on top of a whole mountain of embarrassment. Not sure why I should care.
Look, it's a total mess, right? This is a total disaster. Jasmine Crockett is an embarrassment to Texas. This is exactly why we don't need more progressive women in Congress. I would much rather it be 435 Inez Stetmans because they're calm, they're cool, they're rational, and they're smart, and they want to do the right thing for this country. They don't want to destroy it. Jasmine Crockett using this, trying to suggest that the only reason Nancy Mace is talking about this is to fill up her campaign coffers. Where were you 4 or 5 years ago, right? This is not a very popular fight to pick. It's only popular now because we won an election over it. And it's because of that Donald Trump's in the office. So Jasmine Crockett's an embarrassment. She did the thing with the Black Lives Matter, right? She's projecting. They were running low on campaign funds, so then they started the whole Black Lives Matter movement off of these criminals and people that were killed by cops that were robbing places and using counterfeit bills. So I'm not surprised. This is typical progressive behavior in Congress, and no one else should be surprised either.
I don't necessarily disagree about the embarrassingness. I don't even know if that's a word. I didn't go to college. Of Jasmine Crockett. She even got the hair toss in there. But Nancy Mace, Inez, in my opinion, is no less embarrassing, to be honest. Yeah, she'll fall down on the right side of an issue every now and then, but her reputation is that of a nasty hag. And to be honest, if you'll pardon my French, she seems like a bit of an attention hound. I realize there are kids watching.
Look, I'm going to rip a joke from my friend and former colleague Emily Jashinsky and say I think these two ladies were actually just trying to demonstrate to Pete Hegseth that women can be in combat. And they're demonstrating it on the floor of the Congress right now. No, this is embarrassing. This is not behavior. I don't think either one of them, frankly, is behaving in a way that's becoming of somebody who actually wields serious power in this country. And just to say something serious for half a second, I know this is the Jesse Kelly show, but this kind of behavior is obviously it's funny, like sort of on the surface, but there is a deeper problem here, which is that like these people aren't actually accountable. They wield real power. It's easy to sort of make fun of this, but they wield real power. They don't take any seriousness or accountability, and that's the problem. Just throughout a lot of the ranks of our government is that they wield a lot of power and they don't want to be responsible for it, and they'd rather do these little clips and flip their hair and like go back and forth and these kinds of exchanges. And maybe we deserve it because we, the voters, rarely punish them for this kind of behavior.
Well, Inez, just staying with you, how could I look at it any other way? I mean, when people talk about how embarrassing their congressman is, their senator is, I always like to go back and look at the results of the last election, and voila, looks like the people of their district love this crap. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett's a piece of trash. The people in her district, they love pieces of trash. Nancy Mace is embarrassing. The people in her district, they love that crap.
Yeah, well, that's democracy at some level, right? You vote for the clown that will pull the lever for the things that are important to you, hopefully. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of seriousness in terms of accountability. And unfortunately, perhaps this is the result of a, sort of long period in which America, although we face many, many domestic, very serious challenges, right? We haven't been in an era of great power warfare, for example, for a while. Maybe one hopes that seriousness will return if that comes to pass. Hopefully it won't, but if it does, one hopes at least that there will be some serious people left in the government to deal with problems like that. But look, after COVID, I'm not optimistic about that sobering us up.
Yeah, neither am I. Terry, there's a bill right now, Tommy Tuberville's all over it, about banning men and women's sports. And this comes back to something, I hate to be king cynic all the time, but yeah, that's fine, pass a bill. But when you get to the point as a country where you have to pass bills to stop dudes from beating up chicks in sports, you're not in a healthy place. Even if the bill passes, you're in a bad, bad place.
No, that's exactly right, Jesse. I could not agree with you more. And why are we passing? And think about this. Look, I fully support these bills. I'm the the trans guy. That's the joke. Emily Jasinski says that I'm the trans guy. But think about this. We're passing a women's sports bill that has a better chance. Protecting girls' sports has a better chance of passing than banning sex change procedures for minors. Right, banning sex change procedures for minors that chop off healthy young girls' breasts and alter young boys' bodies and sterilize them. These drugs that they give them, by the way, Jesse, they're too cruel for us to give to sex offenders. Right, it's too cruel. It's illegal to give them to sex offenders, but we give them to children to affirm their gender. That has less of a shot of passing than women's sports. So I agree. We're in a very unhealthy spot as a country, but I think it's starting to turn around. And you start small, and then hopefully you get bigger.
Inez, what do you make of Pam Bondi? Everybody I talk to who's familiar with her says pretty much the same thing. Very qualified, very competent, that she'll do a solid job. But I personally am not looking for a solid job. I'm looking for government criminals to be arrested. And I don't know that's what I'm getting. What do you make of her?
I think that's probably going to have more to do with Trump than Pam Bondi. I mean, I have the same assessment of all your friends, Jesse. She seems very serious, intelligent. And actually, I think somebody of that nature, a little bit of a quieter nature, is actually very, very necessary to actually clean out the rot in DOJ, because a lot of the stuff that went down is ultimately about judgment calls within an institution, and it's going to take somebody with some kind of institutional knowledge and a lot of patience to actually unwind who did what here. And so I think even for your purposes, if you want to see people brought to justice for misusing their power against the American people in a politicized way, then I think what you actually need is somebody a little bit like Pam Bondi. But can I comment on that bill? Because we were a big proponent of this bill. Obviously, I think this is a wonderful bill. It's necessary. It's sad that it is necessary. I want to point out how necessary it is. Most Democrats voted against this bill. You say it's so basic, right? And now the Democrats are gaslighting us into saying that no, that was never a really big problem that men were in women's sports, and nobody claimed that men could actually become women, and that was just such a side issue and it was unimportant and blah, blah, blah. I know Terry hears this all the time, right? That the culture war issues are unimportant. There are only 2 Democrats in the entire House who are brave enough to vote in favor of this extremely basic bill. Both of them, I believe, Hispanic Democrats from Texas. Okay, so the vast majority of Democrats voted against this very basic and simple bill to disallow. It's to disallow bureaucrats from writing gender identity into the Civil Rights Act by unilateral authority and allowing, therefore, men to go into women's sports. Most basic thing you could ever imagine, and almost all the Democrats voted against it.
Can I add on to that, Jesse, real quick? Because I think it's a huge reflection on the Democratic Party, right? Half of the country is represented by these sick, twisted, evil people that have no concern or care for our women or daughters or our children, right? It's not, you poll this issue and it's a 70-30 issue. The vast majority of Americans are very good on this, but they're elected representatives, they're Democrats, and these weak Republicans who have been holding this stuff up for so long, those are really the problem here.
No doubt. Terry, Inez, appreciate you both. Come back soon. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.